All right, I got stuff loading in the background. We are full uh, uh, work mode today. Uh, Tinfoil Hat Tuesday rant's already up there. First one, 34 minutes there. 10 minutes deep in the closet. They're wrapping up the water heater thing. There we go. I think we're filled in. I did back in the New York groove because it came up in the one video. And I was like, hey, that is fun and catchy. And that's cool. I gotta get a little something. Oh yeah, that is dabby do. Oh, something like that. I don't know what I'm talking about. So we're back over here, and I said I had to. This whole moment in history got me thinking. It got me looking at alternative media. At the same time, Ange and I took the Rich Dad, Poor Dad course. We learned about financial influence, power, a lot of interesting shit. Started coming together. Back then, we were just seeing college campuses explode with crazy. Enough where they were making movies mocking it, but not enough to get parents concerned yet. Uh, no conversation, and definitely no one going around going, oh, you support libs of TikTok. Oh, they're evil. It wasn't evil when it was just tinfoil hat crazy stuff. Uh, but then when it started shining a light on every other person's kids acting all stupid, it became problematic, huh? This ugly story has reared its head now 3, 4 times in my life alone. Back in the day when Mr. Swan there did it, I thought mainstream was finally gonna have to. I figured it was an Emmy. I figured he nailed it, and they took everything away from him. And you can think what you want. You'd have to look deeper into it than I'm gonna give. But I am going to give credit where credit's due. And Ben Swan, his reality check program was one of the greatest news programs. I mean, it was quality information, and getting too close to the fire burned us all by taking away. Uh, he was thorough. Yeah, easy to listen to, easy on the eyes. He had everything going for him. Should have been the voice of reason for the last decade, but got pushed to the back burner. See, he's playing with that flame.
Epstein is Pizzagate. Let that sink in for a minute. Jeffrey Epstein is Pizzagate. 10 years ago, Pizzagate was by far the #1 trending topic on Twitter. But the claim of pedophile elites who preyed on children was so insane that Pizzagate was shrugged off as a wild fever dream of a conspiracy theory. I was the first mainstream reporter to dare give the facts surrounding Pizzagate. My corporate career was destroyed over it, so what? My professional reputation was obliterated, that wasn't fun. And I wasn't the only one. Anyone who dared to suggest that this might be true was blacklisted, shadow banned, or thrown off of social media. But then, just days ago, the largest dump of Epstein files revealed what some of us have been telling you for a decade, that Pizzagate is real. Not that there is a pizza parlor at the center of a child trafficking ring, but that child trafficking rings run by some of the most powerful people in the world do exist. Tonight, I want to remind you of what I told you then and compare that to what we have now learned.
Pizzagate. It became a major story weeks ago when an armed man decided to investigate a D.C. area pizza place for himself. This man right here, he carried a rifle into a pizza parlor and then fired it at the floor. Media is telling you the entire story is a hoax or fake news. But what does that even mean? I spent the last month investigating. So what exactly is...
Do you see how fake news used to be used? I got burned with the mask thing, so I'm salty. Channel got screwed. I mean, some of the flow and momentum was hurt by that. Um, that and a couple copyright strikes kind of knocked us down a peg. But they use this is what I bitch about because I remember I watched with the Tea Party, and then I live in the state where it finally, when the conservatives went into the Wisconsin, city, I don't know, government building, their city hall, their Capitol building, and the story was that they wrecked the place. And I'll make you a bet that was agitators and garbage humans. I'm sorry. I went to these rallies. I saw who was who and what was what, and decent people ain't there just throwing their shit around. Same person who likes the junkie tents and the drum circle tells you to recycle as they pollute all over the place because they're filthy. They're filthy people. And I don't mean just, fuck that, I do. Filthy. Fucking filthy. The fact that some of them become spokespersons for anything blows my mind. They just drove me away so fast. I'm like, dude, you ain't my bro. I tell everyone not to buy shit from people you know. It was pathetic. The worst of the people I knew were at Occupy. So I'm still just salty and pissy about it. But they used fake news back then to destroy truth and change it into something that could be used against you. It's sad.
Pizzagate.
Well, the story that came to be known as Pizzagate did not begin with a rumor, nor was it created by Macedonian sheep farmers, as CNN actually once claimed. It began with WikiLeaks, authentic, verified emails taken from the phone.
Well, there you go. WikiLeaks, because they hate WikiLeaks. And I still use, because I had to block my old bass player again. He found another number to call me from. And he texted me, sent pictures, and he is positive that this whole thing leads to the golden one. And it just kills him. And it just... He believes all the propaganda. It just blows my mind.
With a rumor, nor was it created by Macedonian sheep farmers, as CNN actually once claimed. It began with WikiLeaks, authentic, verified
WikiLeaks.
emails.
And what I use against him is that whole thing. What did Assange say? If there was shit to publish out of, we would. They would. And then the fact that I don't think they published bullshit. I think they you can hate it, but I think he got it right. And that's why he got railroaded too. But all I know is this to me was the big... My life took a change. I think this is the same time I went almost 2 years without talking to my dad because he was all cool with... he wanted to see people put down. And I'm like, dude, you can't talk that way. Blah, 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 blah. It was because the TV told him he could. The TV told him he could be a treasonous asshole. And I was like, man, that ain't my dad. I mean, we're more about something than that. We had we had good life, right? The country was took care of them. There's no bullshit. So I couldn't believe, because I tried to explain. I said it looks like a lot of this shit's they're tied up into is dark. And they don't want to hear it. And no normies wanted to hear it, but this shit was huge.
It's taken from the phone of the chairman of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, John Podesta. Those emails were real. In all these years, by the way, no one has actually disputed that. Inside those emails were communications that struck a lot of people, not just online commentators.
No, this is the CIA thing. So you dehumanize a bunch of people, commit suicide, weirdly enough. All the right people for sure do. And then dehumanize and demoralize anyone who would say it's real. And then you're stuck with you and the tinfoil hat ducks, knowing that what you know. Like, oh no, I know what I saw. I know what's being said. Oh, I see how they're covering it up. This and 9/11, just two of the biggest fucking things in my timeline. I'm like, wow, y'all just happy being, not you, not the bus riders. The stumble across it and don't know yet. Yeah, possibly you enjoy being spoon fed a pablum of propaganda that fits a narrative that helps you keep paying your bills. Now, when they blow your whole neighborhood up because of some that say incursion or, military action, they're not going to care if you paid your bills or not. They're just going to march right over you. But I swear, if he just wants to hide.
Were communications that struck a lot of people, not just online commentators, but researchers and former law enforcement, as unusual to say the least. References to pizza and to pizza handkerchiefs and to maps, to private gatherings involving powerful people, some very bizarre stuff. In fact, the first people to draw attention to those emails were a group of self-proclaimed pedophiles on 4chan and 8chan who claimed the Podesta was using the same terminology that they use to speak in coded language. And in researching those emails, I found a 2010 entry into Urban Dictionary. It's still there, by the way. It confirms that cheese pizza is a commonly coded term for child pornography, CP.
I want you to see these images here. These are the images. Notice this one on the end, the triangle. That image signifies something called boy love. The pizza.
Now, unfortunately, the channel, when we started doing reactions, and to this day, the swirl and the symbols, if they're in the video, I tend to point that out. And I'm like, does that... Now, the dilemma is this. I've shown it plenty of times. I got a design diploma, years of design school, printing, art, painted a few things. It just wasn't, it's not my calling, so I don't do it. But some imagery, swirl. So the swirl is one of also the most ancient sun symbols. What happens is groups co-opt ancient symbolism, and then it has multiple meanings. That's those Germans took one, wrecked one of the oldest sun symbols on the planet. I think tracking back to China? I mean, it's an old one. It certainly wasn't their thing. They didn't invent it, right? They just co-opted it and then put a stigma on it. The symbol itself is technically benign. The sun, for some, infinite spiral potential. There's all kinds of things these symbols can mean. It's the co-opting, the taking, and the accepting as coded language. And I heard this the other day, and it was the best because I'm an ex-bad guy. And if I was talking about parsley or some herb, green, I was not talking about my role as a music reactor, my alternative personality. I wasn't talking about salt and pepper. The guys talking about snowstorms to each other aren't literally talking about the snow coming down. Now, pick your poison. It has a group of code words and the gray and black market speak that go along with it. Like the stupid kids in their 7, 8, 6, 7, I don't know what that bullshit is stuff. I can't understand a damn word the young people say. Why? Because they got their own coded language. They don't want you normies following along. Nope, guilty. I can't follow along either. And I'm a long ways from a normie. I'm hiding amongst normies, living the most normal life I can live with the knowledge and influence and background that I have. See, he's just an ex-bad guy hiding out with normal people, hoping to never be a bad guy again. They're making it tough. Turns out we got, as an ex-bad guy, there is one group that there's no free pass. No free pass. If that's the kind of leader you are, you have to keep that shit secret. Oh, secrets out in the open. No free pass.
Place next door to Comet Ping Pong Pizza, Besta Pizza. Well, this was their logo until only a few weeks ago. Clearly, you can see that the Besta logo
weird,
actually
just
contains
weird.
the
That's all.
same image. I'm going to show you again.
Yeah, just
as
weird.
that boy.
He never even said it means anything except that's a coincidence. And then with hype in the media, it changed. Huh. Weird.
Lover image. Interestingly, after Pizzagate investigators pointed this out, Besta Pizza changed their logo, and there it is now. They removed the triangle.
Yeah, 10 years ago, I was called a dangerous conspiracy theorist and a madman for claiming that pedophiles and possibly even pedophile elites might use coded language.
And see, here's how they got us. So then you try to tell someone about this, but the only thing they knew was that Ben was crazy. That he had somehow slipped off the deep end and did some Alex Jones shit. And then just remember, they drove this all home by destroying Jones over Sandy Hook. And I don't touch that, but boy, there's a lot of questions that definitely deserve to be asked. And that's all I would ever say. But oh no, I'm probably sure I've said more. The whole thing is frustrating. It's all in that 1111 song that we keep going back to on the channel. It's all in there. Everything. Because I still to this day was the Christopher Dorner getting burned alive in the cabin. That was a big deal. I still want to know what that was all about. Because they were shooting strangers on the street trying to stop this guy. And then burned him alive in the cabin. That was hardcore. I watched that shit live. I'm like, that's the thing, is I seen too much go down. From Ruby Ridge, the Koreshian attack assault teams, come on. You just think there's some random events that nut jobs grab onto? Nah, there are timelines involved with all of it. But that's because it's Tinfoil Hat Tuesday and we crazy.
Even though it was online pedophiles who said that's exactly what they do. Which brings us back to this new Epstein release, because in it, the word pizza is mentioned 911 times. That's right, 911 times adults are emailing back and forth about slices of pizza and about pizza parties. And the word pizza is often paired with grape soda in bizarre contexts within emails addressed to Epstein by individuals whose names have been mostly redacted. So here's one. Quote, "This is better than a Chinese cookie. Let's go for pizza and grape soda again. No one else can understand." Or this one. "Mr. Epstein would like to see the menu from the pizza place. Could someone send it, please?" Or this one from 2014. "Sit down, because I know you won't believe this. Are you sitting? Jeffrey says he wants to go out to a pizza place with you. He did not mention a particular pizza place, but he knows you are in the know on this," with a little winking emoji. All of the emails that I just shared with you were from 2014.
I know they really like pie.
Right about the same time period of the John Podesta emails that WikiLeaks published and started the entire Pizzagate saga.
Is that Liz Collins? There's the brother, the art douche. That is the douchiest art collection you'd ever. So I couldn't be invited. See, this is why I could never make it. Because, see, if you invite me into this guy's house and I look at that first piece of art, I get an assault charge right there on the. I don't understand why people don't get this shit done. When you see that statue in the stairwell, why don't you push them down the stairs? You will do stand-up time. They will. You do stand-up time. They'll take care of you. You did a righteous thing at that point. There's a monster here. There's a monster. And that's just from his divorce. Divorce that came out. The art collection is only a monster would enjoy that shit. That was kid torture art. It was fucking sick.
Let's talk about the Podesta brothers, because remember, it was John Podesta's email that was hacked. In those leaked Podesta emails, John Podesta talks about his close relationship with Dennis Hastert, the former Speaker of the House, who was recently sentenced to 15 months in prison for abusing boys years ago.
Yeah, well, speaking of the Podesta brothers, again, there was no direct evidence of them being involved in child sex trafficking from those emails. But as we pointed out at the time, there was a lot of bizarre communication, including an email from John Podesta to his brother Tony. The subject line, "Last night was fun," and the first line reads, "Still in torture chamber." That email got really no attention 10 years ago, but today, a 2009 email from Jeffrey Epstein is getting a lot of...
Because they wrote it off, that fake news shit, and what they do is a boiler room, obstacle course, as a metaphor for the grind. But once again, how many free passes do they get? How many times is it a coincidence? And then that's why people want to know and are not willing to let it go. Because it seems like the coincidence portion can't be addressed. Well, I'm just supposed to, whatever you say. Whatever you say goes, right? Because that's what I'm supposed to, the line I'm supposed to toe.
Attention, as it asks, "Where are you? You okay? I love the torture video."
To the fallout from the latest release of the Jeffrey Epstein documents, they include communications between the rich and powerful.
Now, I ain't enjoying all this. And even if there's a gloaty, Freuden-Shrouden glee attached to it, it's also stomach churning to me, for real. And I've said it on the channel before. This is not coming from some empty, hollow space. There was incidents where shit happened. Dude in protective custody got caught with stuff they shouldn't have got caught with. And they put him on flag, and it all worked itself out. But being part of something like that, it changed you. I guess here's your thing. I guess that's a lynch mob. It takes a different form, but I guess that's what that is. And then it's authority approved, which is here what you really need to question. Why would authority serve up the person that they're contracted to keep safe until their sentence is done, and then they'd get rid of them? Oh, wait. Is that somewhat about the you have to keep the operating system in functional order or it falls apart? And if you can't control the worst of it, you ain't going to control those tight messes you've allowed to create that, say, through culture and clicking. You've allowed, authority has allowed a ton of clicks to build up power within the caged environment. So why don't they treat everybody equally? Well, serving that perpetrator up keeps the operating system working better. Can't have that. And it works itself out. Now, I'm being vague because I don't want to, I mean, this is already vulgar enough. But that is where it comes from, is that there is, might have to, some punishment due, Megadeth.
From the co-owner of an NFL team to billionaires like Elon.
Yeah, I gotta, oh yeah, no, it's not on the channel. Holy Wars, the punishment due. Universe is serving us up our menu today, bus riders. That's the best I can say. Marty, I was thinking of you. I hope all is well. I hope we're not going over the top, and then at the same time, I don't think we got a choice. We are here.
On Musk.
CNN teams are careful.
Jeffrey Epstein documents. They include communications between the rich and powerful, from the co-owner of an NFL team to billionaires like Elon Musk.
See how they did that? Now we know. Now that all came out, and you bet. It looked like he turned him down. Now that's going to be the key. This guy tried to get his little tentacles and everything. So lots of people had access. I know there was one person. It's already been named. Bannon. Fuck him, man. Fuck that piece of shit. I'm sorry. But that, I saw the documentary stuff trying to humanize this. Nah. We beyond humanizing these motherfuckers. Ooh, let's check that box. Beyond humanizing this shit. This is not some free pass area, people. I promise you that. Because if you get Prison Planet and you'd let the child predators actually gain too much power, everybody that's giving you all your privileges is going to go first. Because I know regular people don't tolerate that shit. That's about the only thing that's innocent. Right? Puppies, kids, kittens, little fluffy, cute things, wonder, pure love, innocence. Fuck you for stealing innocence. In a world of corrupt, horrible people, you go and get anything you want from their evil. Do evil to evil. I don't know. Stop targeting innocence. Because there's going to be a lot of blowback from that.
CNN teams are carefully sifting through the largest, and what the Justice Department says is the last, batch of Jeffrey Epstein files.
Friday's release of millions of pages related to Jeffrey Epstein provided a closer look at his connection to world elites from Hollywood to Washington, Wall Street to Buckingham Palace and beyond.
Yeah, well, all those so-called news anchors and their newsrooms for a decade blacklisted this topic. They conditioned you to live in ignorance. They called it a conspiracy. They called me and so many others dangerous for even looking.
Did we mention was it Liz Collins? Yeah, I think it's come up, but this Out of the Shadows. That is a highly recommended watch, and it turns out some people have been getting some interviews on this whole subject matter, but she is well worth the check. Check her out. The work is exceptional, and she's been hard on this subject for a long time. So to be fair, credit where credit's due. All over.
For all that is here, there has not been one single public investigation of any of this. Not from local police, not from the FBI, no one. And that has to be the big question. Not for Podesta or for pizza parlor owners, but for law enforcement. Based on what may be or may not be here, the big question is, why hasn't any investigation taken place?
Well, 10 years later, no investigation ever took place. It's a failure of a complicit government and also of a corporate media that didn't just ignore this evil. They helped to cover it up and keep it operating in the shadows. See, by refusing to engage honestly in 2016, by choosing mockery over investigation, by silencing questions instead of asking them, they created the very environment where this evil could thrive. See, they didn't kill bad.
I mean, if we were watching a movie, that would be the moment. The scripting is correct. I mean, I didn't know I was going to get that, but ta-da! It's a magic trick. So if it doesn't all, if you've watched today, if this is the channel is your thing, today is a good day. Especially watch them in order as they come out. Ta-da!
engage honestly in 2016 by choosing mockery over investigation, by silencing questions instead of asking them. They created the very environment where this evil could thrive.
Ta-da! I mean, that's the only moment I could have asked for all day. There's it is. There's the Mike Henry is out there somewhere, but he supported this channel in ways that for sure made me believe to get to this point, right? It don't matter. We ain't changing the world, but I ain't fucking crazy. All the stupid ranting and bullshit and running at the mouth. This moment right here, it all comes together. Top of the pyramid, ma. They're right here. This is where we're at. This was the whole point of starting the channel. This is what all the crazy adds up to. I mean, if it's not put out there, what's the point? You let the normies go back to sleep. Now, if you represent a normie or you represent yourself, you identify as a silent majority normal person, I'm cool. That's my family. That's everyone I know. Well, not everyone. My bros are fringe element people, but living in your world as well. But just remember, there's tons of people you don't know what they're about living in your world. And you're saving up for a trip to the lake and paying your bills, and that is like that and some drama, and that's your life. There are people got side quests upon side quests of shit you wouldn't even stick your big toe close to, and they hip deep in that shit. So the world is an interesting fucking place, but it's about the normie. It's about the person really just who's trying hard to live that normal life that we've been doing since the hunter-gatherer period. Raise their kids, be safe, let them get big, have more kids. Whoa! Circle of life continues, baby. Or we let the environment that's created silence anything of a chance to get this shit dealt with. Choice is ours. Thank you, universe. I could retire if it ended right here. This last 2 minutes is what the channel existed for.
Government, and also of a corporate media that didn't just ignore this evil. They helped to cover it up and keep it operating in the shadows. See, by refusing to engage honestly in 2016, by choosing mockery over investigation, by silencing questions instead of asking them, they created the very environment where this evil could thrive. See, they didn't kill bad information as they pretended. They guaranteed it would survive. See, I wasn't censored the way that I was because my reporting was false. I was censored because it was dangerous. Dangerous to narratives, dangerous to reputations, dangerous to a media culture that had grown comfortable acting as a gatekeeper rather than a watchdog. See, the unspoken rule was simple. Some questions are not allowed. Not because they're wrong, no, but because they lead to the truth. And the truth? Pizzagate, at least in the form of a cabal of elites and powerful people who delight in the physical and sexual abuse of children, is real. Remember how we started. Epstein is Pizzagate. But the other reality it's time to accept, Pizzagate is much more and much bigger than just Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, and that's why we didn't have a choice. I hope I didn't exploit Mr. Swan or anyone involved. We've been watching a bunch of Asman clips. Is there some good, nice interaction going back and forth? And I don't expect any of it. I expect 16 people who are riding the bus with me on Tinfoil Hat Tuesday to take it for whatever it's worth. Obviously, with everything else, I had to do what I got to do. and it's been a major topic. And let's be blunt before we walk out the door. When I play around with the satanic stuff and the darker metal, when we have imagery and it comes up, and even people close to us on the channel, would likes to people like to brush off like the satanic panic period. And there's no brushing it off no more. It turns out they used horror stories and the imagery and music and ideas to get all the way up to what they're allowed to put on a stage now. And I'm not saying Super Bowl was a ritual, but there are concerts out there that straight look like Faustian pacts being made with the devil kind of thing. It's crazy. And the longer we brush it off, the longer it's going to be okay to actually let evil prosecute the light. And that's will come full circle to natural law, consequences, truths. We can create or we can consume, create or destroy, create and nourish, destroy and consume. What choice do we make? Later.